The whispering wheat field. In the heartland of America, there stood an old, decrepit farm that had been abandoned for decades. The fields that once bore golden wheat were now overgrown with thorns and weeds. Locals avoided it, for they believed it was cursed. The legend told of a farmer who had gone mad after a series of crop failures and committed unspeakable acts on his family before taking his own life. One moonless night, a group of adventurous teenagers decided to explore the farm. Armed with flashlights and bravado, they ventured into the eerie darkness. As they walked through the tangled maze of weeds, the wind suddenly stopped, leaving an unsettling silence in its wake. That's when they heard it, a faint whisper that seemed to come from the wheat itself. The teens froze in terror, scanning the darkness for the source of the voice. But there was no one in sight. The whisper came again, closer this time, as if carried by an invisible force. Panic set in, and they attempted to flee. But the path they had taken had vanished, replaced by an endless sea of rustling wheat. The whisper grew louder, more menacing. "You shouldn't have come." Desperation consumed them as they struggled through the wheat, but it seemed to stretch on infinitely. Hours turned into days, and they were haunted by relentless, tormented whispers that grew louder with each passing moment. They were trapped in the cursed wheat field, and their cries for help went unanswered. To this day, the farm stands as a grim reminder of the terror that lurks in its fields. Locals speak of the haunted whispers that emanate from the wheat, warning all who dare to approach. To the ghastly barn. On the outskirts of a small, isolated town, there was a farm with a barn that was the stuff of nightmares. It was said to be cursed by the spirits of those who had met grisly fates within its walls. The townsfolk knew better than to go near it, but one farmer, desperate for shelter during a fierce storm, sought refuge within the barn. The rain poured down like a torrent as the farmer entered the eerie structure. The air inside was heavy with an unnatural chill, and the dim light struggled to penetrate the shadows that seemed to writhe and shift. As he huddled in a corner, he heard faint whispers, like the mournful cries of the damned. Then, from the darkness emerged grotesque figures, their forms distorted and contorted. These were the tormented souls of animals that had met their end within the barn's cruel confines. Their eyes gleamed with a malevolent intelligence as they circled the terrified farmer. Suddenly, the whispers grew into a cacophony of anguished wails. The farmer felt a cold, clammy hand grip his shoulder, and he turned to see the ghostly apparition of the barn's previous owner, a man who had met a gruesome end at the hands of his own livestock. The farmer's screams echoed through the barn as the vengeful spirits closed in. When the storm finally passed and the townsfolk dared to approach the barn, they found nothing but an empty, decaying structure. The farmer was never seen again, and the barn stood as a chilling reminder of the malevolent forces that lurked in the darkness. These two terrifying tales serve as a stark warning to those who underestimate the horrors that can be found on haunted farms, where the past never truly rests in peace.